Hello everyone, it's DA here and I am back. So we're going to start today, or at least this month, with the major MMO news, or at least the MMOs and games that I really enjoy playing and I've been playing for a while. So first we start with Warframe. For starters, we received the addition of Grendel, the Glutton Frame, a Warframe that eats you up and then spits you out. This Warframe falls in between pre-rework Atlas and pre-nerf Hydroid. I don't know what a better way to describe that. It is not something that will fall on the DPS/CC scale, and in the current Warframe sandbox/meta, DPS is still king. It's sad, but it's the true reality. I will classify Grendel as an F frame, which F is for fun, but then again, fun is not something you consider when DPS is still king in this game. Not too impressed by the last two frames, which also include Grendel. I think maybe the next frame they could do something better in terms of ability wise and utility, but I wouldn't call them useless either. I would pick it up just to play him for the looks alone. A lot of people will agree with me when they say looks is still one of those reasons why we pick up certain Warframes to play it. They can be useless in terms of ability, but looks is just S rank. Now, on another Warframe news, we received a long-awaited Nemesis system in the game. The Old Blood utilizes a similar loyalty/Nemesis system that we see in games such as Shadow of Mordor. In fact, that was the major inspiration for the system. You can hunt and kill Quiver Liches or spare these individuals. You will receive weapons from these hunts, of course, and they will be tied to an element associated with the Warframes you used. On this one, I believe DE did a great job in the first half, but the total execution in second half was just unimpressive, considering that this update and the previous ones before it introduced a series of nerfs to the game and certain mods and certain weapons. It was more of a salt to the wound when I realized how much grind I have to do for a single item or a single hunt, considering that a lot of the items that I grinded for are pretty much almost useless at this point. But it is one of those things that also happens in every game, so my suggestion is for DE to limit the grind after you have completed your first successful hunt so that they can skip certain steps and levels. And I would also like for DE to add armor to the pool of rewards. A lot of these Quiver Liches have beautiful and amazing armor pieces, and I would love to see that added to the reward pool as well, so we're not just grinding for a Kraken or anything like that. We can also grind for looks. I would also love them to cut down the ability of these Liches to steal my shit, cause I swear to God, you log off for a few hours and this little shit keeps running amok all around the system, and then when you try to hunt them down, you realize you're not powerful enough because somebody stole your shit. Excuse my language, please. Now, it is fun on the living world part, but I think toning it down a bit might be helpful. I'm not talking about difficulty of the enemies themselves. I'm just talking about toning down some of the aspect of the grind and the lethality of them being able to steal your stuff. Now, even as a Warframe vet, there are certain trash mods that I still consider as valuable, and of course a lot of people don't want to have to grind all over for certain things just because the DE system or the algorithm thinks that those are trash items and it's okay to steal. And I've also heard people say that these Quiver Liches even steal some valuable items as well, which will be interesting. But either way, it's one of those things where I will rate the entire update including Grendel. I will give it 80/10. Now, moving on from Warframe to Destiny, we had our Halloween event as well as the release of the new dungeon in the Shadowkeep update, the new dungeon on the moon. There is the addition of an escalation protocol style of activity in Sorrow's Arbor, and this activity drops weapons, but unlike escalation protocol, this one doesn't drop armor, which is another thing that would have been great. It has a different spin with it, and I enjoy the grind a little bit, at least for the slug kinetic shotgun. The Halloween event is in the Infinite Forest as usual, so it's the same as last year with a little tweak here and there. In fact, both Warframe and Destiny haven't made major improvements to their Halloween event except for a few additions and some VFX or what you call visual updates. Eververse is still cruel as ever, and since the game is partially free now, there is a cost for everything, and this is the cost of freedom, the cost of free to play. I would recommend an Eververse discount for anyone who bought the expansion or the season pass. 30% for those who bought the expansion and 5% for the season pass. Other than that, things are still looking good on the Steam charts and everything else. I haven't tried the new dungeon yet, but I have heard some great and impressive news about it in terms of its endgame spectrum and its difficulty, and of course its rewards as well. Lastly, we have Anthem, but there hasn't been anything major except for the really good Halloween event that they have introduced. Of course, BioWare did lose some major individuals. We had a lot of people talking about different things and what is going to happen to Anthem. They already hired replacements, so we will see what will happen in the coming months. Now back to the Halloween event. This event came with multiple activities, locations, and of course some new game modes to spice things up. BioWare also updated the event in a progressive manner over the weeks. Chaos Prime, another incredible YouTuber, has some great videos and updates on it, so please check out his channel on some guides and even updates to Anthem itself. I just got back yesterday, so if I sound really tired, it is because I've been driving all week, so deep apologies. And I also had a great loss of one of my really good friends, and thank you for your kind words and prayers, it really helps. Other than that, thank you all for watching this video. We should have another major MMO update next month, and we will be talking about any changes to this if DE does make a change to this Warframe editions, and what Bungie is doing in terms of Eververse or some of the new updates in the next season, and of course in terms of Anthem as well. And if I do ever get to buy some of these other new games, I might talk about it as well, maybe on here or on my other channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.